Let me talk to you. It's the one, it's the only, the man with the undeniable Kavorka, the man with the silver tongue and the golden voice, Eli Drake. And what am I telling you? I'm telling you to watch the RW Wrestling Podcast. Why? Well, I'll tell you why. Because if you're not watching, I guess that just makes you a dummy. Yeah, dummy. Yeah, dummy. Yeah. So, don't be a dummy. Watch the RW Wrestling Podcast. That's not an insult. That is just a fact of life. Yeah.
Dummy.
Yeah.
All right. What are we doing today?
Today, you dummies, we're reviewing Bound for Glory 2017 on request of Eli Drake.
Thanks, Eli. I had to sift through Alberto Del Rio.
But first, we had a six-pack challenge for the X Division title. Trevor Lee versus Desmond Xavier versus Sanjay Dutt.
Call him by his name.
No.
Cameron Grimes.
Versus Garza Jr. versus Petey Williams versus Matt Sydal.
Evan Bourne. The man who never took an RKO.
First off,
the only one.
Everyone in this match hated Trevor Lee.
I hate Trevor Lee.
I
hate Cameron Grimes.
That was the first thing I said. Let's see.
Man.
Lee got powerbombed the shit out of him by Sanjay Dutt.
This match felt, just my general sense, it felt way slower than it should have been for an X Division match.
There's the 5-man suplex spot.
Can we talk about how they explained the rules very weirdly at the beginning?
Yeah.
And we figured it out as the match went on, but it was very confusing when they said Lucha Libre style and there was no tags, and then they were tagging in and out, and it didn't make any sense.
I think they were calling that in the ring.
The commentators were confused. There was that 5-man suplex spot. Then Sanjay Dutt dove.
Contrived.
The contrived quintuple suplex spot.
No, there was the dive by Dutt, Xavier, and Sydal at the same time. That was cool.
The triple eight. It was what I call it, the Tope Suicida de Tres.
Yeah, that's what that was, yeah.
Then Sydal hit Lee off of Petey Williams. That was pretty cool.
Yep.
The 619 spot to Garza by Xavier. Xavier does the nice spinal tap.
What's the spinal tap?
Spinal tap look-alike. It wasn't the spinal tap.
It was
but
very
that was the
similar.
first thing you thought about. It's one of AJ Styles' former high-flying finishers.
And then Xavier
He basically jumps as high as he can and corkscrews down.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Then Xavier got that fucking DDT that he sold like Rob Van Dam by Dutt.
Yeah.
Petey did a really great sharpshooter in this match.
Somebody has to be able to do one.
There's the Canadian Destroyer to Xavier, and then Trevor Lee throws Petey out of the ring and steals the pin.
Yeah, it's good heel move right there. I enjoyed it.
And, well, I said it when it happened. It was nice to see Petey at least try to get back in the ring, because every time I see that spot where they steal the finisher and they steal the pin, the guy never gets back in. Like, they don't even try.
Yeah.
Like, all he did was throw you out.
So, Albert, what are your notes on this one?
Yeah, right off the bat, it's just the rules. I mean, it can't be overstated. You got to get the rules right in commentary and in the match, and it just looks silly.
I just had to
Williams was over. The only guy in the match who was over. I guess it's because it's in Canada, I suppose. I like when Garza stopped. I forget who he said. He just held his hand out. I want to say it was Trevor Lee, and then ripped off his ring gear.
His pants.
Yeah.
Yeah, apparently he does that in a lot of matches.
He does it in every match, even in WWE.
Grimes did a really cool, a variation of a powerbomb on Dutt. It was a real cool near fall. I can't describe it. It just looked like he just had him up in the air and just dropped him a little bit. It might have been a sitting powerbomb.
Oh, yeah, that's the one where we thought he died.
Yeah, that was the sitting powerbomb that I wrote about.
Because he spun and then dropped him down.
Yeah, fuck that.
I don't know if Garza's arm was really hurt or it's kayfabe or not, but it was really weird to see him like punching and doing things with one arm when the other arm is pretty much.
Well, he had the tape on that arm, like the medical tape.
It's just more of like, I feel like if it was a legitimate injury, they wouldn't let him compete at all.
Yeah. See, he must have had like potentially like a partial tear or something. It wouldn't have been like a full tear, otherwise he wouldn't have been able to compete.
Yeah. There's parts of the time where I saw him where he was like somewhat normal with his body language, even with the tape.
Well, if it was kayfabe, good selling on Garza's part, but I doubt it was.
It looked real.
I did like the Sydal going off Petey Williams' shoulders.
That was cool.
And then Petey Williams did this great hurricanrana on Trevor Lee over the top rope.
That was great.
That was freaking fantastic.
Xavier
Xavier
jumped over the top rope and caught him on the outside.
Yeah, that was during all the outside of the ring spots that we did. The one cool one.
That was the start of it.
Xavier did a couple of cartwheels and flips, and then eventually got over the top rope and hit like 4 dudes.
And
I thought he was gonna miss, but he didn't.
Yeah, that's the one where it looked like he missed the first time, but they
Yeah.
showed the replay and it was actually good contact.
Yeah, that was a great contact.
And he just bounced off the skulls of some people and then
Boom.
landed on Seidel's back.
Yeah, it's some of those just look rough until you see a replay because I thought he almost missed as well, but it looked perfect. I was like, all right, cool.
Everybody.
Seidel, I'm sorry, is it Seidel?
It's Seidel.
Matt
Seidel, he botched a hurricane off top rope. It just like the only reason I bring that up is because it looks so obvious. And Seidel can do a hurricane with his eyes closed. I think it's just one of those days.
Or a bad take.
Yeah. And I like the Grimes finish, and we still got the Canadian Destroyer despite the fact that Petey Williams did not win.
Very, 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 very good Canadian Destroyer.
I don't know how a guy can take a Canadian Destroyer because you can't see where you're going, and then not hurt your neck or your head.
You wonder how
it's amazing.
They talk about Austin breaking his neck in this regular pile driver, and then you're a Canadian Destroyer. I watched he basically almost hit his head or did hit his head.
He was so close.
Yeah, I mean, like they're sometimes but it's great when it goes off perfect.
It can make you wince. Let's just say that.
Yeah, like even if it's perfect. But I have yet to hear of a Canadian Destroyer hurting anybody yet. So
and
keep it up.
Petey's done it for 15, 20 years almost.
Yeah.
And then the next match.
Actually, hold on a second. Before we go, what was that Global Forge thing that someone brought up after this first match? So like
the Global Forge.
So there was called the Global Forge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Global
that was
Forge
something that has to do with GFW, Global Force Wrestling, Jeff Jarrett's promotion.
Which was Jeff Jarrett starting another company.
I don't know if that was like a talent scouting thing because they said that Hakeem Zayn was the winner. So I don't know what that means, but currently he's in Impact Wrestling as Rohit Raju.
That's what's weird about like this show, as you were talking about. The Impact World Championship is the Impact Global Championship, but they're still technically in that transition period where they're merged with Global Force, and then they're still going to use Global Force, and they chose not to use Global Force.
Well, that's because Jarrett fucked him over.
Yeah, with his selling gold bars or whatever the fuck that thing was.
Yep.
he seems to have a tendency to keep just doing shady shit. I don't know why anybody would do business with him.
Well, he started TNA, and it worked for a while.
Yeah.
And then the next match was actually a replacement match. They were originally supposed to have Rosemary and Taya Valkyrie in some sort of gimmicked match.
Taya couldn't make it.
Taya couldn't make it.
Yeah.
So they had Taji Ishimori versus Tyson Dukes.
Highlight of the match, Chelsea Green.
Tyson Dukes is a good Canadian professional wrestler.
Tyson sucks.
He was fine.
For a filler match, it was okay.
Laurel Van Ness was
Chelsea
the highlight
Green.
of this.
Yeah.
Her drunk bride gimmick where she's just like chilling, trying to hang out with dudes in the crowd.
Sitting on dudes' crotches and shit during the match.
Come on over, girl. It's okay.
During the match, there was a good double stomp from Ishimori to Dukes.
And I like that they put it, going back to the Chelsea Green part, going back to that, I'm glad they put it here instead of just in the moment where they actually pay off that bit. If they would have just did it there, it would have been like, oh, okay. Because you didn't know why she was there until that moment happened. You go, oh yeah, I remember this.
Then they did the 450 splash, Ishimori to Dukes, which looked really, really good.
Yeah.
It was a good worked match. It was just distracting with Laurel Van Ness walking around.
Hey, that was
drunk.
gold.
Yeah.
I gave it a 6 out of 10.
Oh, actually, we didn't rate the first match.
We did not.
Come on, bud.
The first match. Oh, what did you rate?
7.
I rated it a 7.5. You?
6.5.
Yeah. The idea with the rules out the bat, it just kills me.
I give it 7.5 because they all worked pretty damn well.
Oh, they all worked well.
They're a little bit slower than a normal X Division match.
That's where I lost myself. I was like, well, I know what Matt Sydal can do, and I know what Petey Williams can do.
And Sanjay.
But Sanjay, I understand. He's probably the oldest one in the ring.
Free your mind. Ishimori and Dukes, I gave a 6 out of 10 just because like the match was well worked. It's just the Laura Van Ness stuff took it out a little bit.
I'm gonna go with a 5, and I didn't notice. I mean, it was a filler match, so there was no expectations. So maybe I'm being a little harsh.
You're going 5 as well.
I'll give it a 5 for the match, but I'll give it a 6 for the overall entertainment.
Yeah. I didn't see much chemistry between the two wrestlers. It just seems like they never wrestled before.
It was literally last second, so you couldn't have made it any better.
Hey, you get to be in a match with this guy because we need.
Who was that guy?
I don't know.
Then we had an Alberto El Patron promo.
God,
Can we talk about Alberto El Cocaino?
Why?
Pretty much, he just comes to the ring, says, "You took my world title, Jim Cornette,"
and he didn't call me back.
And then Jeremy Borash, you didn't shoot me a text or give me a call.
Let's rephrase this. It took about 10 minutes to get from the "you took my title" to the Jeremy Borash stuff. He's just out there talking. He's going to his one knee over and over again. He's going to the top ropes over and over again. The fans are just not even reacting at all.
No one's reacting to this.
No, there's no heat whatsoever.
Man.
No. So, and to me, it was hard to tell whether he was trying to get people to cheer him, and then people were, and then want people to boo him, and then they were doing neither. Which is honestly, I was laughing my face off when the.
Oh, we stopped listening to the promo.
And he said "perros" a bunch of times, and "no cojones" and all that kind of shit. And
he was just talking just nonsense, just rambling. It's pretty much like they gave him a mic and said, "Here, you got 20 minutes, go."
Yeah, and like you said earlier, they could have had Dukes and Irashomi, right?
Ishimori.
Ishimori go like 10 more minutes.
They could have, or they could have
had
given more
anybody
time
go
to
longer.
anyone else.
Yeah.
2 more minutes.
They could have had an extra match that was another 5-minute match or whatever the fuck. I'd rather have that over
They
this.
could have gave him a squash match and then had him give like a 5-minute promo.
They could have. They could have had Del Rio do a fucking squash match.
Yeah, well, at their WrestleMania, I doubt it.
At that WrestleMania, you're gonna give him 20 minutes to speak where nobody gives a shit.
Yeah, I'd rather have him in a match.
Well, maybe the match. Maybe they didn't think it was going to go 20 minutes, and he just went on his own.
I mean, he ends up no-showing the next pay-per-view, so I guess that's very possible.
I mean, he got more screen time than I thought he would. So,
and then some.
Then you had the Monsters Ball match, Abyss versus Grado, where if Grado wins, he no longer has to work for Abyss, and he can work in America. If Abyss wins, he's out.
I'm gonna make a point. This event happens in Canada, so it kind of doesn't make any sense.
At least you know he can live in Canada now.
So dummy. Yeah.
By the way, Ishimori won that last match. I don't remember if you said that or not. But
The 450.
Yeah, with the 458. Yeah.
Which was probably the nicest part of it, because you don't see people winning for 450 anymore.
But first things first is Abyss gets kicked in his Monsters Balls.
Nut shots. For days.
I think it's gonna be a trend.
Yeah. Then they had the cheese grater spot.
To the nuts as well.
It was a cheese Grado. Okay.
To the ball sack of the leather pants of.
Which was never gonna
cheese
work.
grater to Abyss. To his ball sack.
Yeah.
To his leather pants. Don't even say ball sack.
There were some nice garbage can shots to Abyss. That was alright.
I just feel like it's the contrived nature of the way they use the weapons in this match. It worked better in the later hardcore match than this one.
Yeah.
Grado falls through the barbed wire board. That was kind of cool because it was real barbed wire.
Yeah.
It's alright.
Then there was the bionic elbow to Abyss.
Yeah, Dusty Rhodes. Woo.
And that made Abyss fall into the barbed wire board in the ring. Then Grado puts another one on top of Abyss and does a frog splash.
This took far too long to happen, and then he almost missed.
True. Then we get Laura Van Ness's drunkenness again.
Except for she wasn't drunk.
Then she comes in the ring after Abyss already grabbed Janice. She's got Janice in her hand.
This ending is a whole lot of.
And now we get a blackout.
Yeah. And
then when the lights come back on, it's Rosemary.
Woo!
Rosemary spits the mist into Ness's face. Then accidentally gets Abyss in the face as well.
Well, they were trying to reconcile first, and then you didn't know what was going to happen. And then then you realize they're working together.
Then there's a choke slam into the thumbtacks to Rosemary, which that was a sick-ass bump.
That was the best spot of the match.
Black hole slam.
Black hole fall. There was no slam involved.
Black hole slam to Grado into the barbed wire board.
It was a black hole fall. That was the worst black hole slam I've seen since.
1, 2, 3. Albert, what are your notes on this match?
Monsters Balls. I think I coined that phrase. I was thinking on the spot with that one. Yeah, there were some good bumps and some bad bumps, like the I don't know much about Grado, but like it looked like he just didn't know what he was doing on some of these bumps.
Well, he's a comedy guy. He's not used to hardcore type matches.
Oh,
so,
okay.
Yeah.
So I didn't know that. But the one where the barbed wire was set up on the outside, I thought, I mean, you could tell he was going to go through it because he aimed himself that way, but I was like, is he really going to do this still? And I'm like, hey, went right through it. Okay, cool. Later, I thought he was going to be the guy in the thumbtacks, but I was pleasantly surprised about that, that it was Rosemary.
You guys fucking suck.
The barbed wire spots, yeah, it was a little silly, but hey, look, at least they fucking did it. So.
Well, and it was real barbed wire too, because you could see they were both getting cut up by it.
Yeah, it wasn't like some plastic nonsense.
Abyss almost lost his mask too.
Yeah, he did.
Times.
And the Rosemary thumbtacks, I wrote that down. Like she took that thumbtacks bump like a boss.
That was a great bump from her.
Yeah, and then the worst black hole sun ever. Black hole fall. Yeah. I said black hole sun. Because first thing I thought about was Soundgarden. Sorry.
Soundgarden.
Yeah,
they're performing at this pay-per-view.
Because I was gonna say that like because Chris Cornell's turning around in his grave but making a black hole sun look bad.
Well, to be fair, this was before he was dead.
Well, we're watching it now though.
Now he's falling. Now he's rolling.
No, I'm not gonna make that joke. Never mind.
Yeah.
I was gonna make a joke.
And Abyss wins. I thought Grado was gonna win, but how did the story evolve past this? Was there anything else? With
after this, Grado got kicked out of the country, and he was out of Impact Wrestling.
So basically, yeah,
loser leaves town match. Basically,
and then he came back like 6 months later and started a tag team he started dating the chick who played Katie Lee Burchell.
Oh, I know who she is. I don't remember her name.
And then Joe Hendry became his best friend. Then there was an angle where she was trying to have sex with Joe Hendry.
Of course they would do that.
And Grado goes, what the hell are you doing, Joe? Are you trying to steal my woman? And Joe goes, no, I don't want to steal your woman. We're buddies.
Yeah.
And kicked her away. And then they both left Impact together.
Oh.
And Joe went to Ring of Honor.
Who wrote these stories?
I don't know. Bruce Pritchard, is that you?
Just answer honestly, Bruce. Is it you?
What'd you guys rate this one?
It was a clusterfuck. I didn't really like it.
4.
Yeah.
I gave it a 6.5.
I don't know.
Maybe the Rosemary bump was the best part.
I have a lot of hatred for most of this show.
It's just that like the next hardcore match was a lot better than this one.
And
that's why I give it a 4. And I'll be honest, that's why I gave it a 4. Like the effort was good, but like it just didn't. Like Grado is just. I think he's fucking stupid.
I think Abyss.
And Abyss is way too old for this match.
Played out.
Abyss is too old for this kind of match at this point. He didn't bump very well on most things. Grado did most of the work, which is like the way it should have been the opposite of.
He did most of the work, and the work he did wasn't even that great.
Yeah. Okay. You know what? 5 is fine because I mean, like Rosemary made her appearance, and so did Chelsea Green,
Laura Van Ness,
or whatever her name is. Okay, 5. Okay, yeah. You convinced me to up my grade to a 5.
At least they played out the.
We upgraded.
Yeah, and they played out the story.
We got your Grado to improve.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
My Grado to improve. You silly mother.
Get your Vargo to improve.
So yeah, so there was some story continuity there. So.
So then we had
Vargo with Blue Chew. Improve it.
The 6-man tag match: El Hijo del Fantasma and Pagano and Texano versus Ethan Carter III and Eddie Edwards and James Storm.
Just call him Mexican Cowboy.
Well, Texano was fine. It's Pagano that was bad.
I know, Mexican Joker.
Yeah, it was a joke, all right.
There was that Storm did the neckbreaker DDT combo to Texano and Phantasma. That was pretty cool.
I get what they were playing with the EC3 James Storm bit, but all that really made me want to do is that's the match we should have.
Well, I wrote straight out in here, EC3 keeps distracting the ref,
James Storm gets his shit kicked in.
Which makes his team get beat up. WTF.
Yeah.
That's why EC3 should always be a heel. Everything he did in this match up until the end when they did the celebration was heelish. And when he got in the ring, he just started kicking ass. But...
Everyone did that contrived dive spot outside the ring, including Storm, who did a nice somersault onto everyone.
No, let's okay. 5 of the guys in the match did the contrived dive spot.
And then Storm just gets on the top rope.
No. The little Joker dude did not die. He got sunset flipped over.
Yes,
No,
he
it wasn't
did.
that. He went off his feet. He brought his feet up and then he did the flip over.
He got a monkey flip over the top rope. Pagano
Essentially,
did onto
yeah.
everybody else.
He did not die.
If Pagano can't do that spot, why do it?
And then James Storm
The funny
gets on
part
the
was
top
I
rope.
was it before that. After that happens, before James Storm gets on the top rope, he just goes. He just like shrugs and he's like, okay.
Why not? He goes.
Yeah, sure, that happened.
Then he does the somersault onto them.
Yep.
There was the Tower of Doom spot that Albert loves.
Oh
Yeah, it's my favorite thing in the whole world. Next to
Yeah.
Chelsea Green.
Yeah.
Then there was Storm's elbow.
Oh, what was that?
He did the elbow to him
Just
after
an
the
elbow
Tower
off
of
the top
Doom.
rope.
Just in the top rope.
Gotcha.
Then there was the strong zero spot on the apron to Eddie Edwards, who died at that point.
He was
Yeah.
gone from the rest of the match.
Daddy Edwards.
Daddy Edwards.
Yep.
That's the best part about the end of the match is you're like sitting there, like they're celebrating. What about Edwards?
Yeah. It's like, I mean, he's out there. I mean, they're drinking beer at the end and
It finally cuts to him pouring beer.
pour beer to his mouth, like, one for us and one for my fallen homies.
Then there was
Daddy Edwards, here you go.
Then there was the double 1%er by EC3, and then the last call to Pagano.
Yep.
So Ethan Carter III, Eddie Edwards, and James Storm took the victory. What are your notes on this match, Albert?
Daddy Edwards.
I like the story for the Impact team. At least it kind of made it, like it played out through the match.
It did.
It was hard it was hard to follow at first because I didn't. I'd forgotten about the trust issue part when we saw the preview. But then as it unfolded, and I think I heard one of the announcers mention, it's like, oh yeah, that's right, and it popped in my head. So I thought the story was good. The end when they had Storm and EC3 face up, like, are you gonna help me or not, and are you gonna turn on me or not? But the best part was EC3 was are they playing the story with EC3 distracting the referee while James Storm is getting his ass kicked.
He also
I thought that was kind of interesting.
He did that once when Eddie was getting his ass kicked
It happened
too.
twice.
Yeah, but
And then Storm's like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
Yeah, but that's playing off their obviously
He wouldn't take Storm.
their trust issues.
You know, he wouldn't take EC3.
Right. Oh yeah. Oh, EC wouldn't take the tag.
Nope.
I just love it at the end where he just goes, "You fucking."
Yeah.
Yeah,
The
got the
heels.
last call.
The heels were getting no heat. They had to start clapping to get heat. And some of the crowd would respond, and then dead, nothing.
I think what it was in this particular match is that the Impact crowd didn't know who the other team was, and that can take you out of a match.
I don't know, my problem with this entire show so far is if I paid for this show, I'd be like, I'd be kind of upset.
Well, here's hoping that you bought the pay-per-view just to see the main event, which
Yeah,
again makes your point. So, but I'm just saying.
Well, we'll be there eventually.
Yeah.
Up until a point, the main event was fine.
Eddie Edwards did this really cool double hurricanrana, but the opponents, but whoever the opponents were botched it. They jumped too late.
I think it was Pagano and Texano.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
I
that was
think
the first time you realized how bad Joker was.
You're like, fuck, Pagano's bad.
Yeah, and I was because Texano was when he took that bump from was it the that Storm did on him, the DDT or whatever it was.
Yeah,
that was Texano. It looked really cool. Pagano needed help with the flip. I don't know why he would do it initially. The spot was just dumb. The spot fest, like sometimes I hate spot fest, but if you do it in a certain condensed area, I'm okay with it.
Yeah, this one was actually fine.
It was fine with it. But the funny part was when they're all in the ring and they did all their moves on each other and they're all down on the mat, nobody's saying a word. The crowd.
Yeah.
Usually in WWE or wherever you hear like, "This is awesome." None of that. That was I guarantee that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to get the crowd to pop.
Well, and then you got the ref counting.
That's when the ref counts, and then you hear the crowd go 6.
Yeah, they're counting with the ref. They're not doing "this is awesome." They're not saying anything. They're just like 4.
That sounds like
5.
that sounds like a "let this be over" chant.
Yeah, and then the Eddie Edwards was that was a great bump. I was like, God damn, he just took a fucking massive fucking move.
And then you got the beer, which was cool.
Yeah,
especially when Eddie's finally up and they're pouring the beer into Eddie's mouth on the outside.
Yeah, I give the match a 6.
Okay, I gave it a 7, just because I thought it was entertaining.
I'm gonna stay on his side. I didn't have much of a care about anybody on the other team, and
that's the thing, though. So because I thought the story was okay, I thought they could have done a little bit better with the story. I don't know how, but it just seemed like it was so obvious.
EC3 needs to lay off the roids.
Yeah, he does. His back knee is horrible.
He's not Jinder Mahal.
Now.
but nobody else should be.
Jingle my ball.
Jiggle my balls.
Jingle my balls.
Yeah, there was a bunch of ball shots. So this pay per view was like a ball shot mania.
EC3's double ball shot was funny.
Just cool.
Yeah.
And then he just goes. Starts.
But you're gonna start seeing a trend with ball shots. We had one
a few matches ago.
a few matches ago. I think it was the
There's one in every match at this point.
I don't think there were any in the 6-pack match, but I could be wrong.
Actually, no, there was not one in Dukes and Ishimori.
Yeah.
Every other match had one.
It's ball shots in every match. You're like, all right, guys. Okay, guys.
Balls.
Mahoney.
Then we had the street fight for the tag titles, OVE versus LAX, which this match is actually really good.
Yeah. And I'll go ahead. I'm sorry.
First off, these guys started fighting right away.
I got a pretty couple good, just brutal kendo stick shots.
Yeah.
There's some good kendo stick shots. Santana got suplexed onto a chair, and then out of nowhere, fucking Conan just chucks a garbage can into his head. into Jake Christ's head.
Might as well do something.
Then, actually, no, that's the Dave, sorry.
Ohio versus
Ortiz fucking powerbomb Jake right off the stage into the tables.
It looks so good.
As did Santana's jump off the scaffolding.
Santana goes up the scaffolding and fucking dives down onto Dave.
Yeah, he didn't protect himself at all. He hit him like he just like Michael's up the ladder on Razor Ramon. He pretty much just sold out to make that spot look good. He didn't put his knees down or his elbows or whatever. It was great.
Then Jake just starts wailing on Ortiz at the fucking steel chair shots.
Mm-hmm.
Jake suplexes Ortiz onto the chairs,
Sort
which
of.
doesn't work for him because he's the one who goes through them.
Yeah, and then
Ortiz is like pretty much fine.
But then he still ends up with the pin, going for the pin on Ortiz because that's the way it was supposed to play out. But it just doesn't look right.
Yeah, it doesn't.
LAX does the street sweeper to Jake on the chairs. That was pretty cool.
Street sweeper.
Then out of nowhere, Conan just gets powdered in the face. Then here comes Sami Callihan.
And I had asked before the match started, Ohio versus everything. When did Sami Callihan come into this?
First off, a ladder was earlier set onto the barricade in the ring.
Oh, yeah.
So then, essentially, Callahan does the blackout to Santana. Then he grabs Ortiz and pile drivers him through a fucking table.
And he did that so aggressively, he almost flung his own body into the barricade.
Yeah, he did.
And then OVE gets the victory there. And then you got the end where they're just starting to beat down LAX, and Santana is literally getting to the point where he's laying on Ortiz, trying to protect him. Then Sammy spits on a Mexican flag and lays it on LAX and says, "We are OVE, thumbs up, thumbs down."
Boo.
So what else did you write, Albert?
The first thing I thought about before the match even started, because they changed my mind. I was like, another street fight? And then I was like, this is a fucking fight. Let's go. Because they were fucking laying it all in, and all those spots you're talking about with the splashes and stuff. We were talking about a funny part where there's a guy in the audience right there where I forget who I think it was Ortiz had the trash can on him at the beginning.
Oh, yeah,
and then Jake super
almost got
him.
kicked in the face.
And I was hoping that because the guy he's like, "Ooh, great, I'm on TV, yay!"
He'd jump up like every.
And he
5
stood up
seconds.
like every 2 seconds. I'm like thinking, please miss Ortiz and super kick the guy. That'd be
Super kick that fan in the face, please.
It would have been epic.
Sit your ass down.
Yeah, the power bomb off the top rope was great. Off the ramp was great. The splash on Dave by Santana was great. Yeah, Jake he took the friggin' superplex on the chairs and did it to himself, but whatever.
That was
There
bad.
was another ball shot. I think somebody picked somebody up for an atomic drop and dropped him on the guardrail this time. It wasn't like an actual hand to balls or anything.
Yeah,
but either way,
either way,
somebody got their balls.
I know the guardrail happens in the main event. I know that.
Yeah, there's a ball. Was there a ball shot in the main event?
Yeah, he drops him on the guardrail in the main event.
Oh, I wrote ball shots.
There's balls in the main event.
Yeah. This match was fun. The Callahan spot, I was like, I didn't know what to make of it. But Ortiz took a nasty bump on that ladder. You said that was a blackout that he did?
But he did essentially a blackout.
Lance
he grabs his
basically
arms and fucking just chucks him.
Yeah.
Except for he didn't chuck him far enough, and it looked like he almost hit the apron.
Fuck.
And barely hit the
It
ladder.
looked like his back
head hit the apron.
I think his back hit the actual edge of the ladder, but he wasn't able to.
The back of his head hit the apron too.
Yeah, I was like, oh, that
He needed like an extra foot. It still would have had the impact on the ladder, but the almost the apron part really bothered me.
Yeah, but if he falls flat back on the ladder instead of the edge of the ladder, it'd been a lot better. I'm sorry, it wouldn't have hurt as much. But hey, look, sometimes those cringy moves make a match a little bit better. But the match was
He's
essentially over at
obviously
that
okay.
point.
It happened 3 years ago, and now he's in AEW. He's still fine.
Yeah, I'm sure he's good. Callahan, 3 years later, losing the girls, so hey, good for him.
That's gonna sound a lot worse.
No, I'm just kidding. I enjoyed that match. I'm just kidding.
What'd you rate this match, guys?
I'm going 7.5.
Yeah, I agree.
I went with an 8 just because if you look at everything compared, it's like, fuck, this is way better.
It's the second best match of the night overall.
So then after that, we had the triple threat match for the Knockouts title. Sienna versus Gail Kim versus Allie. First off, I'm going to say that I feel like this Knockouts title triple threat match is better than the one from the other pay-per-view we watched.
This is the Ring of Honor one?
No, the Hard to Kill one.
Yeah,
That was
Who was in that one?
ODB, Sienna, Jordan Grace, and Taya Valkyrie.
I think I gave that one an okay rating. I don't remember.
That one was just kind of slow.
Yeah.
This did what it wanted to do. It just wasn't all that special.
Well, first there was like that clutch submission hold / kind of like the Accolade actually that
Were the
Sienna
arms
did
like
to
this?
both Allie and Gail Kim. Allie does essentially a Dudley Dog to Sienna, which then she got 619'd by Gail Kim.
Yeah, it was a great spot.
There was the good Hurricane Rana by Gail Kim to Allie to Sienna on the outside. Allie did the drop kick to Gail Kim's ass, which makes her head hit the bottom turnbuckle.
Yeah,
that
that was pretty
weird.
funny.
Let's see. The Sienna then did the pounce to Allie.
Yeah, because Allie did all those her running sliding clothesline thing that usually looks okay looked really bad in this match.
There was that nice
Right
follow-away
before
slam on the second rope from Sienna.
That
to
was my
Allie.
spot of the match.
What was that one?
Where she follow away slams back off the top.
Oh,
rope
yeah,
with
yeah.
Then there was the Eat Defeat to Allie. Then the Eat Defeat from the top rope to Sienna from Gail Kim. And Gail Kim gets the victory on that.
Eat
Any-
defeat.
Who invented that move? You all know who did. I'm not gonna say it. 'Cause I know.
How you doing?
How you doing?
So what else you got on this one, Albert?
Kim got a good pop. I'm glad she did because if it's your last match,
I don't think
that's great.
the last match at this time.
Yeah,
because
but
she has a match with Tessa later on.
yeah, but the when her music started, it's really cool when this happens sometimes. The music starts and everyone's like, they stand up or they get their attention gets diverted to the stage, and then when she came out, the whole place pops.
Well, and she's also from Canada
Right.
too, so
So-
I don't know which part of Canada, but
they cheered Allie too because she's
Yeah.
from Canada.
Yep. The
there
bunny.
was the so on top of the that double submission move, what'd you call it, the Accolade or whatever it was?
Well, it was essentially like an Accolade cluch kind of deal because
Yeah.
it was kind of like a
Except
mix
for she
of
was
a
doing two at once. So.
Yeah, so like Sienna did three moves on both women in a row.
That Accolade was the same kind of thing that Death Triangle tried to do
Yep.
when they beat the shit out of the Best Friends and they put them in that triple submission. It was the same fucking thing.
Yeah.
True.
So Sienna did a double German on both Kim and Allie, and then she did the submission move on Kim and Allie.
You just reminded me.
And then right after that, Sienna does like an avalanche onto both Kim and Allie in a turnbuckle.
Yep.
So like three in a row, moves in a row where Sienna has both women.
She also does she has Allie down and spine busters Kim on top of her and tries to pin Kim.
Oh yeah,
Kim
that's
shoulders
right.
aren't down, so she has to go over, but Kim kicks out.
The referee was like, "Hey, look, you got to cover her." And then I thought the hands were going on boobs. I was like,
You're waiting for it.
"Oh no." Well, I'm glad she didn't do it because it would look really like
I
kind of dumb.
I understood the point, but like the ref was like, "Hey, you got to pin her." So she goes to pin her, and there's 1, 2, and
then
Kim
Kim kicks out.
Kicks out to get her off the pin. I'm just like,
Yeah, that was actually pretty interesting. That was good.
It was Sienna looked like an ass kicker. However, she when she was on the outside, she got thrown into a guardrail, and it was like she just got thrown like about a foot and a half. It looked so fake. Like she was like 6 inches off the ground and got pushed into a guardrail a foot away from her, and she sold it, which is fine. You're supposed to.
And she didn't look weak at all,
But
really.
but that spot looked fake. That's the only
Yeah.
bad spot of the match, to me.
Yeah, and this, like I said, this triple threat I thought was better than the other one from the other show.
Yeah.
Like this one was a lot quicker. This one, the women were more athletic.
Yeah, with Gail Kim in the match, I mean,
It's the veteran.
Gail Kim, one of the greatest of all time.
Yeah. I'm giving this
And
match.
TNA Impact fans have always respected Gail Kim a lot more than the WWE fans have.
That's why in WWE you were saying Gail Kim wasn't good in WWE because her second run she didn't give a fuck because she knew that they weren't going to get any time. She knew in general that they didn't really want the women to wrestle; they just wanted them to be eye candy.
Bra and panties matches were.
That's why there's her last match was a battle royal where she eliminated herself.
That was the best part about it.
She just throws herself on through the middle rope.
She gets done.
Leaves.
She gets
Said, "Fuck it."
something happens. She's like, nah, I don't need this.
Yeah, and she goes right back to TNA or wherever she went after that.
She went back to TNA.
Match is a 7. I enjoyed it.
I gave it a 7 as well. I enjoyed it.
So it's been one of the best women's matches we've watched so far. So I'll give it
This
a 7.
like the.
I still, because of my investment in AEW, thought
Yeah.
Sheeta and Board was better. But
I'm actually amazed that I actually enjoyed these matches more than I thought I would. After we're talking about them, and of course there's only one black mark on the whole goddamn thing.
well,
And-
two.
Dummy, yeah.
It comes back. Dummy.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like the more we talked about them, the more I've enjoyed them. But like there's like this one spot, and we can never not see it now, because anyway.
Well, then we had Jimmy Jacobs comes out.
I didn't get
This
this at all.
doesn't make no sense.
I didn't understand.
Okay,
it.
I will give them this. They needed time to
You
put
don't
the
work
cage
here
up.
anymore.
They needed time to put the cage up. But
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
All Jimmy Jacobs does is he comes out, he walks over to the commentary table, and he pretty much goes, "I'm here," and says the princess is here, which
You're all beautiful.
And Borash is like, "You don't work here."
Yeah, it's like, you don't work here.
and he just goes,
Oh, that's cute.
"Yeah, that's cute," because at this point in time, Jimmy Jacobs was the writer for WWE, but he had just recently been fired because he took a picture with the Bullet Club outside of Raw.
Yeah, because that's when they did the Invade Raw.
Because one of the things that Jimmy Jacobs is known for is
We're
actually
not on camera.
he used to write out a lot of Jericho's promos with him. And one of the things Jimmy Jacobs got credit for is the list.
Okay.
Stupid idiot.
It.
Yeah.
I think that's another one he got credit for is doing the it bit.
And then Jericho's, just by him being Jericho, gets anything over. So.
Exactly.
Le champion.
Well,
He's
He's still the champion. He's not even the champion.
we will watch Jimmy Jacobs matches in the future.
Will we?
Oh yeah, we'll see some Jimmy Jacobs matches. I think he's pretty cool.
I never seen him at all. So
His gimmick is he's the zombie princess, so he has kind of feminine attire sometimes. But he can go.
And he's a zombie.
Yeah, but he can go in the ring. That's all that matters.
Okay.
I haven't been a huge fan
Cool.
of Jimmy Jacobs.
But we have a steel cage match here. We have
yeah.
If you can call it that.
Okay, so before we go into this match, it's the Team America, whatever the fuck. I mean,
America's top team.
okay,
yeah.
and that's the guys Lambert brought in, right?
You
Yep.
say,
And
motherfucking
so the whole
America.
problem is that Lambert thinks that like he himself and the guys he brings in are better wrestlers than the guys who are actually wrestling.
Well, no, so the whole story behind it is Bobby Lashley's an MMA guy.
Correct.
So they want Bobby Lashley to be MMA only. But he wants to wrestle too. And they're like, well, you're going to be only MMA. Come on now, Bobby. This is the place to make you money. This is the real shit, not the fake shit. So they were blurring the lines between kayfabe and real life.
Which is a great storyline to have in a predetermined scripted show, is to tell you that it's a predetermined scripted show.
And we'll get to some of that later in this match.
And then, of course, Lambert decides that he's going to be the ultimate heel in the company and go, oh, I'm the greatest wrestling fan of all time. Wrestling's fake, da-da-da-da-da. I have all these championship belts. I have the NWA original Dusty Rhodes Championship. I have the Diamond Dallas Page World Heavyweight title, WCW title belt. I have the Hulk Hogan 97 NWO spray painted title belt. He claims he has all these championships at his house.
Yeah, you can buy them for $300 on WWEshop.com.
There you go.
Well, then Stephen Bonner and Moose go to his house where he has these championships in a case, and they break the cases open and steal those championships.
Sexy belt. Okay, and then they had, and that was their heat, and
Well, and Moose pretty
What?
much was like, Moose was defending them, defending wrestling, going, wrestling is great, fuck you, Lambert.
right.
So you had Bobby Lashley and King Mo
Yay.
versus Stephen Bonner and Moose, aka Stephen Boner.
Bald black guy with headband, black bald guy, and black bald guy with gold tights.
And white guy.
And white guy.
Dude.
So, the first note that I wrote is the drop kick to Lashley from Moose was pretty cool. Then Moose did like a little hulking up motion, and Lashley was like scared.
Oh, wait. You just brought up hulking up. We got to go back to EC3 and his Ultimate Warrior impression that he did during the 6-man tag.
Go back. We haven't got to it yet.
EC3 and his 6-man tag.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
We never brought that up. You said hulking up. I'm like, oh, Ultimate Warrior.
He did the warrior thing. It's like, yeah.
It's like,
well, also the Batista thing.
It was dumb.
Yeah.
That's all I want to say. It had to be mentioned.
All right.
Back to our regularly scheduled programming.
Moose essentially does like a little taunt, and Lashley like acts like he got hit from it, and Moose just looks at him like, the fuck?
Yeah, he was on the top rope too.
He like starts
It was weird.
It was one of the weird spots. He tries like starts climbing or something after that. It's weird.
Then there was where Moose got power bombed into the cage. That was good. That was a good one. Yeah. Then Lashley has Bonner in the corner, and he's gonna punch him, and Bonner power bombs Lashley.
Yep.
That was cool. Then King Mo got long darted into the cage. I thought that was actually pretty fucking cool.
And that's where he got busted open.
And he got busted open, yeah.
Or he was busted open before that. Either way,
Then there was the buckle bomb to Moose, the spear to Lashley. Let's see.
Off camera, somebody took out the outside referee.
Yeah.
And we don't know who it was.
King Mo got kicked out of the cage, and Moose ran after his ass. Then Moose got slammed into the barricade. And America's top team and Dan Lambert ran in there and locked Moose out of the cage.
Oh, can we talk about the Dark Order on December 18th bad style kicking that happened in the corner?
Oh, trust me, we'll get to that.
Then, of course, there was...
That's all I thought about was the bad punches from that episode of AEW.
Moose climbs over the cage and gets in back in there.
Of course he was.
Yeah. Then Lashley spears Moose. 1, 2, 3. King Mo and Lashley win. What other notes do you have, Albert?
And then okay, so the rapper entrance was I couldn't even hear a word he was saying.
Yeah, the rapper entrance they brought up. I caught it right before it
Moose's
happened.
brother.
It was Moose's brother. So I guess it made at least there's a reason. It wasn't just some random dude they brought up.
I mean, it was fine. I just couldn't hear a word he said.
I heard you all know what his name is, and it's Moose.
Wait, that's his name?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
You guys all know the name.
Then the Lashley top rope stuff was just weird looking because Moose is like, dude, what are you doing?
I will say people like Moose. Moose.
Yeah, I mean everybody was all about it.
Moose.
There was a buckle bomb into the cage by Lashley. I don't remember who did it on. It was I think it was Moose or Bonner. I forget which.
Moose.
Moose did it 'cause he has the power.
True.
Power.
Bonner can pull off a decent power bomb. I mean, look.
He did when
that was on
he
Lashley.
did to Lashley. Yeah,
Now, of course,
good.
that's Lashley
doing
doing.
standing power bomb too.
Now that's Lashley doing most of the work, but still.
That Bonner's power bomb, that was a standing power bomb.
Yeah.
He didn't sit down or anything; just threw him down. It was like a last ride kind of thing. Without the lift.
Yeah.
Moose sold a lariat. I think he pretty much flipped over. I thought that was pretty nice. I think Lashley hit him with it.
Yeah, he did the nice, almost Rikishi sell essentially.
Yeah. I think Moose took he took a buckle bomb and then outright no sold it and speared Lashley. I think it was. Thought that was freaking fantastic. The fake MMA by real MMA in a steel cage scripted wrestling match was just. I mean, they were going for some real MMA though, because the Kimura lock was locked in for a second. Yeah, but they're not really wrenching in the Kimura lock.
No. They're not wrenching it in because they don't want to fucking break King Mo's arm.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, I'm not making fun of it. It's just what they were doing. I mean, they're not really trying to put the moves in because they will have to tap.
It's what I didn't like about when Brock brought it in, because he would do it, but then he made it look so easy just to snap their arm when he's done. He's like, I'm gonna hold this here, and you're gonna be in pain. But when I wanted to, I could just go.
Yeah.
Like, you could have just done that from the beginning and said, fuck it.
It still looked like like I said, I'm not making fun of it. I just think it's just a little bit of irony right there.
Ironic.
Yeah.
I am making fun of those kicks in the corner by that little dude.
And I was hoping
The
Lambert would.
dudes that we don't even know what their names are.
Yeah, with all the Lambert stuff, I thought he would take a bump, at least one bump.
Yeah, but
And
nothing.
then and then what could happen was that they win the match, and then he gets carried out like, yeah, we won, and he's like dying.
No, that was just a kid who couldn't kick.
Yeah,
I know, but I was hoping that'd be Lambert, where he's like all this saying, all this posturing and all this shit talking he's done, and he takes a bump and he's just dead.
And he never took a fucking
But he did
bump.
take one bump. I saw he take at least one bump.
As you said, those shitty Orange Cassidy kicks.
And then that's my last thing over here. Worst kicks by MMA guys. Come on, they're literally just like
Like I said, it reminded me of the Dark Order.
Yeah, well, they're missing by they're
better now.
Yeah, and they're missing by a mile, and they catch it on camera. Oh,
and that was up like, what the hell? And then that guy takes a pretty impressive fucking move though, and he's dead for the rest of the match.
Yeah, and he's like, they're all in the ring celebrating. They're all in the ring celebrating. He's the guy like, he's just like, oh, dude.
I forgot what the match actually was, but they had to like pick his ass up. He was like the Marco Stunt of the team. He couldn't do anything.
He pulled off the rubbery legs. I thought it was pretty funny. He couldn't stand up.
He couldn't kick, but he could sell a move.
Yeah. So,
so what would you guys rate this particular match?
To me, it was silly. I couldn't take it seriously, but everyone in there was doing what they had to do. I'm gonna give it at least a 5.5.
I'll give it a 5.5. I enjoyed the entertainment that we gave ourselves talking about it. I don't know if the match itself is beaming of the 5.5, but I enjoyed watching it because we made an.
I don't know. I gave it a
conversation
little bit.
about it.
I was a little nicer than you guys. I gave it a 7 just because it
You were
it
a
did
little
what it was
nicer
supposed
to
to do.
everything on this card than we are.
It did what it was supposed to do.
If Lambert had taken a bump, I would have given it probably a 6.
If Lambert would have taken a bump, it would have been a 7.5.
Yeah, that's what because I think that's what everyone wanted to see, and we never got it. Where did this storyline go from here? Did it go anywhere else?
So pretty much after that, Lashley had a Bellator fight. Then pretty much he was off TV for a while, and when he came back, Lambert ended up getting his ass kicked.
Hey, there it
I
is.
don't remember by who though, but it was not by Moose.
Moose.
It was someone else kicked his ass.
Maybe it should have been Moose, or at least Stephan Bonner comes back and does it. You know.
Owner.
Oh, okay. So who was Stephan Bonner anyway? Was he is he a legit MMA guy as well?
He was an MMA guy as well. Yeah.
So how did he end up not being on America's Top Team?
Because he didn't want a piece of Lambert. He said Lambert was too cocky.
Oh, so he said, "Fuck off! I'm gonna
Pretty
go."
much.
I know the name and I can't say anything. Hell, I know he's MMA guy, but I knew the name before this.
So then there was the Impact TNA whatever Global Force World Title match.
The Impact Force Championship match is what they called it.
Say it again.
Eli Drake.
Impact Force Championship match.
Impact Force. Okay.
It's Impact Global. That's what it was. Impact Global Championship match.
Eli Drake versus Johnny Impact, John Morrison, Johnny Mundo.
Dummy.
Yeah.
Johnny Nitro, Johnny Mundo, Johnny Impact.
Yeah, which Johnny we get today? We got Johnny Impact.
First things first is I liked that somersault that Impact did to Eli.
At least he didn't sign up for AEW because he would have been called Johnny Elite.
No shit. He would have.
Or no, they could have called him Johnny Dynamite.
Yeah, Johnny.
Oh, Johnny
Dynamite.
Dynamite. Yeah.
Yeah, they would have had Johnny Nitro.
Johnny Dynamite. I liked the German to Eli. That was really cool. Where Eli was stuck in the middle in the ropes.
I just
That was
throw it out here that this match, up until the last 2 minutes, I would have given it 8.5.
I still might give it 8.5. But anyway, go ahead.
Then Adonis ends up attacking Impact while Drake is disrupting the referee.
You almost said Morrison.
Then Morrison slides under the barricade.
Yeah.
Call him Chris Masters.
And he dives over the barricade.
Yep.
And attacks Eli Drake.
That was we're sitting there talking about something going on, and then we see that, and I was just like, the hell?
He's gone. It's like what Titus O'Neil wishes he could have done better
At the Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
When it made it look planned.
Yeah, make it look like he meant to do it.
Then, of course, there was the neck breaker to Morrison on the apron. There was the suplex on the stairs to Drake.
Oh, yeah, that would look... Oh.
Drake did that really cool moonsault, and then when he pinned him, he had his dick in Morrison's face.
Yep.
It was like right there. He had to kick out and like...
Yeah, you got your dick in my face. Fuck you.
Well, I mean, why not? The ball shots in this whole entire episode, pay-per-view.
It's not Joey Ryan.
Impact did the fall-away slam moonsault.
Actually, this is like the exact same part. I think like right before that, it said, "What will Impact do next?" And we're like, "What? The person or the company?"
Yeah.
True, but I thought the moonsault follow-away slam was actually really impressive.
Into that
Yeah.
running corkscrew flip thing that he did after it.
Then there
He's
was
just so goddamn good.
So we
there
didn't
was the
sell.
Spanish fly.
Oh
to
yeah,
Drake.
hold on.
We got to go back. So well before any of these, this is where like my rating went down a little bit, was because before this, he moved out of the way of a kick to the head, and I can't talk right now. Impact kicked the ring post, and he sold it for like 5 seconds, and then all of a sudden he's doing flips and
shit.
All
everything.
the flippity doos.
He just never sold it, and I was like, oh, I was really expecting something
Yeah.
out of it.
True, and then of course
But
Impact does the Spanish
other than
fly
that
to Drake
right.
off top rope.
That looked fantastic.
He did the Impact elbow, which is essentially a flip elbow to Drake. That
Except
was
for he
pretty
landed
cool.
on his knees first. You pointed it out.
The first time he did, the second time he landed on the actual elbow, because the first time he never hit it.
Well, no, the second time when he did hit it is the one I'm talking about.
Yeah.
He impacts the ground before his elbow impacts
And then
Drake.
Then there was the Starship Pain to Drake.
I love that move.
Then we get El Patron pulls the referee
Alberto,
out.
I'll get the fuck away from us.
El Patron pulls the referee out. Then Morrison goes after him. Del Rio moves out of the way.
Call him Del Rio.
Hits him in the head with a hits Morrison in the head with a chair.
Breaks in half.
No,
No,
the second
that's
time.
not even that.
That was the first time.
Oh.
Then he goes in the
That's
ring.
when he actually put his hands up.
That's when he goes in the ring and hits fucking Drake with the title belt.
Yep.
Then
Throws
Morrison's
Mundo
back in.
He throws Mundo in.
Yep, throws Mundo in. And
I
then Impact.
call him like 3 different names.
Then Impact gets hit in the fucking head with the chair, and the piece of the chair flies off.
Good thing it's a plastic chair, not a metal chair.
And
Then
yeah.
El Patron fucking grabs Drake and just lays him on top of him.
And then he wakes the ref up, who he knocked out in the first place.
It's amazing.
And the
It's
ref
amazing.
counts to 3. I'm like, there's so many disqualifications in this finish.
Might as well just count the pin then. Fuck it.
So Eli Drake won.
And
What
then-
other notes did you take, El?
Del Rio just leaves.
Well, he's got no choice. There's not another match happening.
Wait, it's like it ends with him there, and then the show just ends.
Pretty much.
Dummy. Yeah.
Dummy. Yeah.
All right. So like you pretty much nailed everything.
God.
The beginning of Morrison doing Morrison things. You know. So I mean.
I call him
it's
Mundo,
funny
you
because
call
like
him Impact.
at the beginning of this whole thing, I wrote Johnny Impact versus Eli Drake, and then I'm calling him Morrison the rest of the way.
I think the only
I wrote Morrison in the actual
Yeah.
fucking title, too.
I think the only name we actually didn't call him, other than bringing up the fact that we said Dynamite, was we called him Nitro in that part, but nobody actually
Yeah.
said Nitro.
No.
It was just back and forth, and then the first time it got really interesting was when Morrison. What was that move where Eli Drake is caught between the top middle rope and then Impact slides under the ropes and hit his feet, and then
He gave him a German.
was it a German? Oh, it went so fast. I thought he just clipped his legs off from underneath him and
No,
Drake sold
he
it.
literally German suplexed him and slid out.
I called
It
him,
was
I
so
called him
quick.
Mundo.
It was so quick that it happened, too.
Honestly, I didn't even see the German part. I just thought he just like flipped it.
Yeah, he literally reached and Germaned him real quick
then-
and slipped right out.
Oh, it's amazing.
That's why you guys can't wait to see those Brian Cage matches where he does that shit to Cage.
The only reason I'm bringing up this issue, and it was a timing issue, is that Morrison got hit by a guillotine, and that's where it swung momentum towards Drake. The only reason I'm bringing it up is because it was a momentum part. It looked like it was supposed to be a big spot, and it didn't look like one. To me, it hurt the match a little bit because like it was so obvious. It was like Drake had already taken over the match and did it. I probably wouldn't even noticed it. It was just Morrison getting heat on Morrison.
True.
Then they're outside the ring. Morrison does the guardrail spot and then comes back over the guardrail with a clothesline. I thought that was fantastic.
You were writing down the guardrail, so I'm like, spot, and you looked up and you're just flying through the air.
Well, so I've always talked about Spot Fest and contrive stuff. When it's 1-on-1, they're fine. But when it's like 5-on-5,
it's not 7 or 8 different
it
things
gets
happening in
ridiculous.
10 seconds.
God damn it, there's always these camera shots and I can't tell what's going on.
Like, God, get off my lawn.
man.
Drake with that bump on the stairs, looking like you notice he hit his head on the apron too.
Yeah, he dropped him on the stairs, but he dropped him so far on the stairs that the back of his head smacked the
It
apron,
looked-
and
yeah.
that's 2 inches above the stairs, so like his head was already bent forward.
Yeah, and it looked pretty. It looked to me like it was a tough bump. I'm not sure. I guess Drake was fine.
He went the rest of the match without looking like he was concussed, so we'll take that.
Drake did a power slam on Morrison off the top rope.
I'll add Eli Drake to my list of people that do decent power slams.
Yeah, and I'm about to say one later, which is
He does do a decent power slam.
That side power slam like Cody and Ortiz.
Yeah, that was good.
Morrison selling like a boss, except his ankle.
Yeah, you can't sound like a boss except for that one thing he should have been selling the whole match.
Where was the ball shot in this match?
He dropped him on the barricade.
Was it on the barricade?
Yeah, he dropped the balls on the barricade.
Okay, we're done ball shot immediately because it's only two words. Drake with a nice moonsault. I don't think it was off top rope. I think it was like a standing one. I'm not sure.
He did it off the top.
His was off the top, yeah.
Then the Morrison fall away moonsault was fantastic.
That was sick.
Into that corkscrew thing.
And at this point, we're talking about the ankle spots and why even have it because he's not selling it. Drake made. I'm sure if Angle was watching this match, he made Angle proud, but he jumped right to the top rope.
Oh, when they do when the guy's going to the top rope and he's laying on the ground and there's like boom.
And just I think it does a reverse suplex.
He does that pop up suplex like fucking Angle would.
I was like, wow.
I thought it's like they get up right away. It's like boom. Before he's even to the top rope, he's there already.
Face falls for distraction on apron. Cliche showed his ugly head. I don't know why anyone would bother. You know, you gotta beat the guy in the ring. Why does it always have to happen? Where like we see it so much, where the good guy always falls for distraction on the apron. Just stop it.
I think the weird thing about this
dumb faces.
Because I completely forgot about Al Patron for a while.
You mean Del Rio?
That's the one time I'm gonna call him that. But I was gonna call him De Cocanos or whatever the fuck. But I completely forgot about him, even though we joked about him coming back. And pretty much knew he was going to come back, but I forgot about
for this match?
Well, I just knew he was going to come back eventually in the show. But then I forgot about it during the match. But they did the Chris Masters gives Eli Drake the title.
Yeah.
And he misses.
Yeah, that's my one question is like, so El Patron's walking down fucking to the ring. Why is Adonis not going after him?
He was in the crowd. He jumped out of the crowd.
Well,
I have no idea. I don't know.
Okay,
Adonis was knocked out by the belt shot. That follows what I was gonna say.
Adonis should have been kicking his ass.
Masters was pretty much dead to rights when it came to Alberto Del Cocaino.
I would have popped for that.
So after
the Master Lock.
So after Drake pretty much made Angle proud, the Spanish Fly was fantastic. The Impact Elbow, it would have been better if he hadn't landed on his feet first, but whatever. It still looked pretty damn good, and I'll give him the benefit of the doubt that maybe it's just the one time he fucked up.
I will say, when we talked about the ankle not selling, I'll say him not selling the ankle did make it better because there's more impactful, fun moves to watch.
Yeah.
But he still should have sold.
I mean, he can still hop up with 1 foot. I'm sure he could do it just as easy. The Del Rio shit, I have no words. Because like it didn't even add to the storyline. Because obviously he no shows the month later.
It was a horrible promo.
That was the next pay per view. It wasn't a month later. That was a few months later.
Oh, okay. I'm used to WWE's schedule, I suppose.
Yeah, he was on the television show, and then he just stopped showing up. Let me read when the next pay per view was. So I can get that.
But because the worst part about the end is that nobody looked good. Del Rio didn't look good. Nobody popped for it. Drake doesn't win clean. Morrison looks like a fool because like he gets hit by a chair by.
He gets punked by Del Rio.
He gets fucking like his fucking shit got rocked.
So whoever booked this obviously didn't know what they were doing.
Russo.
Was it Russo?
Probably.
Pritchard.
So here's the deal. So this pay per view is November 5th, 2017, and the next one where Del Rio no shows was April 22nd. The next year.
So it's a while.
Oh yeah, that's right. So they only had like 2 pay-per-views a year. That's right.
At that point, yeah. And then they bumped it up to 3, and now they were up to 4, and then COVID hit. So.
I had this match at a 9, and I still want to give it an 8, but that's a huge gap from 9 to 8 because that could have been fantastic. That'd been my first 9.
I'm giving it
an 8. The end was horrible.
Well, I'm giving it an 8 too, just because I would have given it an 8.5, a 9, but the Del Rio shit fucked it up.
The moment
was horrible.
I was like, I already hated your promo So if you came back in the show, I said I'm gonna hate whenever he comes back.
Why did no one just because like you could watch that promo and say there's no heat for Del Rio. No one's gonna care.
So why not just rewrite the ending?
Why not rewrite the ending?
You had 2 more hours.
I completely understand that. Yeah.
I love when he showed up though, because I made the reference. It's like, hey, he hasn't been seen in forever. I'm like, an hour ago.
Yeah. It's only an hour ago.
True.
Like an hour and a half, maybe at best.
Overall, actually, I enjoyed this show more than I thought I would, based on what you guys were talking about.
I
thought it was pretty fun.
I enjoyed it more than I think I have more fun doing this more than I enjoyed this show.
That could be it too.
It was a good show overall. Like, so my question is though, would you recommend this to fans like, oh, I just want to watch a random Impact show?
No.
I have to watch more Impact shows because we've already seen. I'm sorry.
Sacrifice, which was the one that we all hated pretty much.
Yeah.
Then there was Hard to Kill, which we all liked for the most part, and then we had this one.
So between the three, I have to go with the Hard to Kill more than this one. So no, I wouldn't recommend it.
So here's just the point I was gonna make on that. Like, I enjoyed doing this.
Yeah.
Try to think about how you would have viewed this show if we all watched it separately, not together, and then came together to review the show.
That'd be interesting. We should do that once and see what happens.
And by the way, I will say this was the one that OSW reviewed.
It is. I knew it because I remember there's parts about it that I've seen this before, but where? And I was like, maybe it's OSW. I didn't know because the under the guardrail. The little freaking wimpy ass kicks were something I remembered. The guardrail spot and something like that. But you know what? That's not a bad idea. Maybe one time we could do a pay-per-view, watch it separately, and
would we actually want to do that though?
Well, I'm saying I'm not saying that like it's like a one-off, but it's just like the concept that like I think I would enjoy the shows less, even if I liked the show previously when we're not watching it together.
Yeah, I think if we watch it in a group, we enjoy it more.
Which is why I said like if we all would have sat down and watched this show separately,
we all would have probably given it worse grades.
Hated it more. It's like if we weren't sitting there bullshitting about Del Rio's promo for 20 minutes while he was giving it, it probably would have been even worse.
Yeah,
true. But definitely would have been worse.
Well, who knows? I might have been texting you. We'll watch it at the same time. Like, dude, this is horrible. And you're like, I know. And Chris is like, this is bullshit. We're all both like, I know.
Just like the fucking day that you guys were fucking watching the results for stupid Super Showdown, and I'm just getting my phone blown the fuck up at work.
I'm bitching about Goldberg the entire time.
I'm sitting there at work, and I finally get to a spot where I can look at the phone.
And I go, like 20 messages.
No, there was 37.
I'm pretty sure I opened it with fuck the WWE, fuck this shit, fuck it. And you're
then
what? I'm like, Goldberg beat the Fiend. You're like, fuck.
And then the last text I get from you two is Dylan going, yeah, sorry about blowing up Chris's phone.
I keep forgetting we're in the group text at this time. We're just going back and forth.
That's fine. I just thought it was hilarious. So I'm like, God damn!
We're both just like, oh, this is so fucking dumb.
I didn't think I was gonna watch anything again. That was so bad. I went on Twitter and I was just having.
But here we go, guys. So we gave the show a decent view. I got a list of all of the former Impact TNA champions. First things first is I'm going by longest reigns. By the way, total reigns. First is Kurt Angle. 6 reigns, 608 days.
Going back to 2007.
Yes. Then we've got Bobby Lashley, 4 reigns, 403 days.
Jesus, 4.
Austin Aries, 3 reigns, 373 days.
Whoop, whoop.
Bobby Roode, the longest singular reign, by the way.
He only had 1, right?
No, he had 2.
He had 2.
Bobby Roode, 2 reigns, 367 days. Sting, 4 reigns, 326 days. Jeff Hardy, 3 reigns, 249 days. AJ Styles, 2 reigns, 220 days.
He was like a 7-time champion if you count NWA.
Yeah.
Johnny Impact, 1 reign, 196 days.
Nice.
Bully Ray, 2 reigns, 196 days.
What you're telling me is Eli Drake's reign is not as long as I want it to be.
Samoa Joe, 182 days. Brian Cage, 180 days, 1 reign. Tessa Blanchard, 1 reign, 165 days.
one match.
Eli Drake, 1 reign, 146
Okay, not
days.
bad. Dummy.
Yeah. Magnus, 1 reign, 128 days.
All this.
Rob Van Dam, 1 reign, 113 days.
He's RVD.
Ethan Carter III, 2 reigns, 104 days.
That's kind of sad. He had 2 reigns and they're both.
Eddie Edwards, 1 reign, 97 days. Drew Galloway / McIntyre, 1 reign, 89 days. Sammy Callahan, 1 reign, 79 days. Eric Young, 1 reign, 70 days. Matt Hardy, 2 reigns, 69 days.
Jeez.
6'9"?
Ken Anderson / Ken Kennedy, 2 reigns, 64 days. Mick Foley, 1 reign, 63 days.
Was that long?
Yeah. I remember that.
Alberto El Patron / Del Rio, 1 reign, 43 days.
Del Cocaino.
Chris Sabin, 1 reign, 28 days. This one you're going to be shocked by. James Storm, 1 reign, 8 days.
I remember that actually.
He lost it back to Rude, right?
Yeah.
And Pentagon Jr., 1 reign, 2 days.
Yeah, I remember that. And I am going to cut you off. We got this.
We're out.
All right. So,
What's the next show?
I don't know yet.
We'll figure that out.
Dummy.
Yeah.